here I am again. Like I said, I'm going to be talking about the steroids in the media. I'm focusing a lot on media coverage on things because the media, like I always say, is very misinforming. You have to do the research for yourself, or because they only tell you the half truth. They tell you the situation, and they don't tell you everything that's going on. Um, just so like the reason why I believe they do that is so there's a level of knowledge, there's a level of obviously we know there's a level in society when it comes to wealth, but it keeps people here and here, the knowing and the unknowing. There's always a balance, and the reason for the balance is, you guessed it, power. Because if everybody were on the same level, there would be no power. So the balance of power becomes knowledge. Think about that. The balance of power is in knowledge. Knowing, like there's different types of knowledge. Obviously, there's school knowledge. There's knowledge that you learn outside of the school and in everyday life. Some people call it street knowledge. And there's the knowledge where the average person will never know, is the political knowledge and behind that. But there are people who do know and people who do catch on, and you read these books. After this, I'm gonna actually watch the Obama Deception. I'm looking very forward to that. I watched Loose Change. Loose Change is another thing I think everybody should look at. And I know a lot of Americans are gonna hate me, but I think a lot of the Americans are very misinformed about their own government. They do, and they defend it, and they wear their heart on their sleeve, which is great. But the government is making you do that. Like I'm from Canada, and I'm in Canada right now. And for example, here's the same level. This is on the same level as what I am talking to you about. Okay. In Canada, when you're born, like hockey's a very big thing here. When you're born, they teach you to love hockey. There's not a single person out in Toronto that does not like hockey. Actually, what I would say is there are a few people that do not like, because everyone's conformed. Like, okay, me, I'm being black, I'm supposed to like basketball, I'm supposed to like hip hop music, and you know what? When I was younger, I did conform to that because it's all about conformity here. Government wants you to conform. People want you to conform. If you're a white guy in Toronto or white woman person, whatever, they want you to be born loving hockey. I think everybody should be able to make the choice. They shouldn't just be pushed on you just because it's on the media every day. Like hockey is like the NHL is not the top grossing sport, not even the top 5 grossing sports in North America. Yeah, it probably is 5th. But you know what? But in Canada, it's loved, which is great. Hockey is a good sport. It's hard for a guy of my it's hard for because my family was you need money to play hockey and basketball and all those, and I played basketball, soccer. I played a lot of sports, bodybuilding, wrestling. All those things, it's easier because you don't have to buy the equipment. But I'm not saying anything about that. But like I said, hockey, great sport, but it's pushed on you in Canada. Just like there's a lot of things. Patriotism is pushed on you in America. It sure definitely is. And because I talk to a lot of Americans from day to day, and they're always there. They love their country to death, which is great. You should, I guess. But don't believe everything they push on you just because your president says it, or just because your what is the congressman, or I don't know what you guys have there, or mayor or whatever says it, because it's not always the truth. It's easy to put blame on somebody because that's what they do. They try to put blame on somebody and say, hey, that guy over there's the bad guy. Look at him. He's different from us. That's not always the case. But anyways, let's get on to the steroid thing, because I think steroids is a very misinformed thing. I don't personally take steroids. I never have, never will. It's so expensive. I have no need to really. But baseball, America's favorite sport, pastime, sorry. I don't even know why you guys call that. Someone comment on this blog and let me know why they call it favorite pastime, not sport, not favorite sport. But anyways, yeah, actually you're right. I think I just realized why they call it the favorite pastime, because the NFL makes more money than the MLB. That's why it's not America's favorite sport, because America's favorite sport would be the NFL football. There we go. We answered my own question. Anyways, A-Rod. A-Rod is a funny guy. Anyone who thinks A-Rod is... he's a good player. He's a great player, no doubt. But people say, like, he came out a couple months ago saying he is admitting to taking steroids when his previous position was he's never taken it, he's never will, blah, 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 blah. We all heard it before. The reason why A-Rod did this is, guess what? Yes, to save his own ass. People are wondering why A-Rod is not going through the system. Why is not A-Rod still playing baseball? Here's the easy answer. A-Rod never lied to a grand jury. Everybody who thinks, like guys like Barry Bonds, Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, all those guys, and who's the other guy? The catcher, whatever. They got on Texas Rangers or whatever. Anyways, they think they are getting tried for taking steroids. No, 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 they are not. They are not getting tried for taking steroids. What are they getting tried for? Lying to a grand jury. This is why certain people are getting off and certain people are not getting off, because they've never lied to the grand jury. And that is a big offense. Taking steroids, there's no real offense behind this. Steroids is a double-edged sword, because there are people who are born with like superb talent, and then there's regular people, which is the bigger population, that are not. And I think that steroids. Okay, let's take Roger Clemens for example. Here's a guy aging, and as we know, as you age, your testosterone declines. It starts to go down. You don't produce as much of it, and that affects everything. When you're a man, that affects everything. It affects your pretty much willingness to do things. If I was Roger Clemens and people were saying, "Hey, Roger Clemens, we want you back for one more season. You're still a great pitcher. Yes. You don't want to leave the game. You love the game. You're Roger Clemens. I'm Roger Clemens. I love the game. People are throwing a whole bunch of money at me, but my testosterone, I can't perform at the level that they're expecting me to perform at, and it's because of my decline in testosterone." Roger Clemens made the decision and said, "Hey, you know what? Because look at him. This guy has an arm he's been throwing for how many years? More than anyone I've known, except for Nolan Ryan. And it's going to take your toll. You can't keep doing it. You can't keep hurling these pitches, at the top level everybody wants you to perform at, without, a little help. And if I were in Roger Clemens' shoes, I would have made the same decision. You know what I mean? I'm not saying, okay, I know this is the reason why they're making a big deal out of it is because what do you tell the children? It's okay to take the drugs, because that's what steroids is, but you know what? Everybody takes drugs in one way, shape, or form. You don't see Steve Jobs and Bill Gates going at it because Steve Jobs took a pill, to make him stay up longer, so his days so he actually can get more work done in the days. You don't see them fighting about that. You don't see fighting about people take the everyday drug, coffee. There's caffeine. And guess what? Coffee's a drug. It's a stimulant. It's an aerogenic stimulant. So, you know what I mean? Like, I guess there are accepted. Like the reason